The 7-year wait is over. The Boruto time skip is here, and Kishimoto and Ikimoto have delivered. This picture says it all. Boruto is not the same. The vibes are completely different, and it makes complete sense, as he went from living the luxurious lifestyle as a Hokage's son to, in a blink of an eye, losing everything and being forced to leave the village. This is why Sarada is so mad at Shikamaru, as she has been pleading for years for Boruto's innocence. But no one believes her, stating that they believe that it was a collaborative work between Sasuke and Boruto, a planned assassination of the Hokage. The crazy part is that Sasuke's past doesn't make this seem out of the reach. Sasuke, who left the village to go to the person who killed the 3rd Hokage, then joined the Akatsuki and pulled up to the 5 Kage summit and attempted to kill all of the Kages, killing Danzo in the process. These past actions don't make it hard for people to believe that he may be evil, which shows that he still has to face up to his past mistakes. However, it is not only about Sasuke's past mistakes, as everyone is affected by Ida's omnipotence, making it even hard for them to trust Sarada's words, which prompts Shikamaru to say that regardless of his orders, people won't side with her. He also brings Sarada's state as a shinobi into question, stating that he is worried about her goal of being the Hokage, as to them everything points to Boruto and Sasuke being evil. Boruto is an outsider, Sasuke has a criminal past, and the fact that they are running away all seems to point to the fact that they are guilty. This is the current dilemma that Sarada finds herself in, as she has been trying to convince people for years, but nothing changes, causing her to lash out and say that she doesn't look up to Shikamaru, but instead she looks up to Naruto, who as a genin became Hokage. In addition, she talks about Sasuke's past, which she does seem to understand, which means that either she learned about Sasuke's path from Sasuke while he was in the village, which would mean that in the anime we would get this being shown to us, or that she was told about Sasuke's past after Sasuke left the village, either by her mother or by the higher-ups, which would be a tough way for her to learn the truth about her father. Sarada stating that Shikamaru is not her role model, but instead Naruto, who became Hokage as a genin, parallels Naruto when he said that he would remain a genin for the rest of his life if it meant that he could save his friend. This foreshadows what Sarada will be doing, as she will consistently try to prove Boruto and Sasuke's innocence, just like Naruto consistently went against what everybody said and tried to save his friend Sasuke. But Sarada is definitely struggling in the time skip. But the one thing she is not struggling with is her fit, as her fit is absolutely amazing. It gives off a lot of futuristic vibes and modern vibes, as it is clearly inspired by K-pop themes, as Ikimoto is a fan of a lot of K-pop artists. It also at the same time debunks all of the rumors that say that it was Boruto's jacket that she was wearing, as we see the Uchiha crest at the back of her jacket. And to be honest, it would have been kind of creepy for her to have taken Boruto's jacket to wear on a consistent basis. I think it's a little weird. But Sarada is not the only one with a new design, as we see Sumire, who talks to Sarada, telling her not to blame them for not believing, as they were affected by Ida's omnipotence. And Sarada got a bit of backlash from the community for her manner of questioning Shikamaru. But you have to remember, Sarada, out of everyone in the village, is the one who is going through it the most, as the person she loves is being wrongfully chased and pursued, and her father is being branded as a criminal. She has lost a lot too, and the way Shikamaru talks, it seems like she has been trying to convince them for a while, but to no avail. Confirming what Momoshiki said, those who aren't affected by the omnipotence are the ones who will suffer the most. To me, the most interesting and questionable part is Kawaki and Sarada's relationship. Has she tried to talk to Kawaki at all about what happened? These are the questions that are yet to be answered. But what we do see is Ida and Damien, and they don't get a new redesign. And this does make a lot of sense, not only because they were recently brought into the story in the latter half of the series, but they are also cyborgs, so they won't operate in the same way as regular humans who consistently change. But it would be funny if we see them remain the same for the rest of the story or until they are taken down. But Sumire does end up getting a new fit that matches her old title of class rep, and she lives up to that title as she explains to us what exactly happened to the villagers and everyone who was affected by the Omnipotence. As she says that the people did notice the differences at first, like we saw in chapter 80 with Kawaki not having the scar, regarding Kawaki's body being modified with Kara technology while he was presumably in the village for his entire life, not having Momoshiki inside of him. All of these things were concerns at first. However, as time passed, the Omnipotence erased their unease and completely brainwashed them. This is the power of the gods. Boruto and Kawaki's paths rewritten, and now no one can question it but Sarada and Sumire, which Ida does notice in this chapter, as it seems like they have been trying to convince people for a while, as Ida says that they still haven't given up. And this does alarm Ida, as if they aren't affected by the Omnipotence rewriting people's memories, so are they really affected by her charms? This is what Ida seems to be questioning, as it may leave her vulnerable to an attack from Sarada and Sumire if they are not truly affected. But Sumire quells her worries by saying that they are both affected by the charm, but somehow they still have retained their memories. But a lot of people believe this is the first conversation they had regarding the charm abilities and the Omnipotence reversal. But the dialogue makes it clear that this is something that has been ongoing, something that they have been discussing for a while, and Ida has finally asked them to give up already. The key part is that this still confirms the foreshadowing given to us in part 1, as the village might rebel from Ida and Damien in the future, and this sets up everything. Chaos is arising, and this doesn't feel like a new arc, but a continuation of the arc that we were just in, as Naruto is still sealed, meaning that Kawaki's plan have yet to be executed, as Code and Boruto and the rest of the Otsukis are still out there, which is why we see Kawaki in the Daiko Koden dimension checking up on Naruto and Hinata. In addition, we see Kawaki and Mitsuki. Mitsuki is still trying to kill Boruto, and his hatred for Boruto hasn't changed, but they are unable to find him as his Otsutsuki ability allows him to hide his chakra signal, making him hard to find. But Kawaki says that if he comes into the village, he would be able to detect him, which hints at what would happen later on in the chapter. First of all, Kawaki's outfit is amazing, and I love the modernistic vibes that it gives off, especially the jacket, which gives off a lot of Chunks vibe. Mitsuki's fit is also amazing. Ikimoto didn't miss with any of Team 7's fits, they are all peak. But Mitsuki and Kawaki seem to have gotten quite close, and the crazy thing is that if you pay attention, you would see that Kawaki is playing the role perfectly. People believe that he is Boruto, and he doesn't seem to want to rectify it by saying that it is not the truth. No, he plays the role, proving that it was truly his wish for him to become Boruto, making Mitsuki believe that Kawaki is his son, who illuminates him. Mitsuki also seems like Kawaki's sidekick, but for me, it seems like he is starting to question Kawaki, but the Omnipotence is too strong, and this situation is a callback to Mitsuki in the anime and him truly becoming a human by choosing his own fate and direction and having his own true will. You can definitely feel like the writing has stepped up ever since the Code arc when Kijimoto came back and started writing again. And this level of writing continues with Himba as we see her fight Chocho, and it does seem like she has been improving as a ninja, with Shikadai and Inogen who seem to be aiding in her training. This is the first L of the chapter as we see Inogen's hair, which looked like he got the same treatment as Gaara had. But Shikadai's fit looks good, and I love the jacket that they have been given. But we also learn about Hima's resolve, who says that she wants to help Boruto. And at first I thought she wasn't affected by the Omnipotence, because she says that her image of Boruto is different in her mind than everyone else. However, these next few pages confirm that she is affected on some level. First, we see Hima making the mistake of believing that Boruto is the one who saved her and her father from Delta's light beam. And second, she believes that there is a reason behind it. However, there might be a conflict between her Ninshu and the Omnipotence, which connects her to Boruto in some sort of way and allows her to feel like Naruto and Hinata are still alive, which may be a hint at some future abilities that she will awaken in the future. But that's not the only important thing we discover in this chapter, as during Kawaki's conversation with Mitsuki, Kawaki is notified that Cold's claw marks have been found outside the village, in the east, which is where we see Kawaki fly in a way that parallels Ishiki when he came to the village looking for Kawaki. There are so many different parallels in this chapter, and the writing is just amazing, as everything seems to point to the fact that Kawaki has surpassed Jigen's level to levels similar, if not better, than Ishiki, as we see Kawaki shrink Cold's claw marks using his dojutsu, which has now fully matured as he is able to use all 8 of the triangles, whereas Jigen could only use 4 or 2 at most. However, Cold's claw marks are not only found outside the village, they are also found on people's neck, just like with Shikamaru. This hints towards what will come later on in the chapter. This would mean that Cold would have had some interaction with the villagers or police force during the time skip, especially those outside the village, which would have allowed him to implant them with the claw mark. Kawaki removes the claw mark and goes back to report to Shikamaru. And to me, it almost seems like Kawaki's status has elevated, which makes sense since he is the Hokage's son, but it also seems like he runs things because of his powers and hacks, while Shikamaru is mainly the Hokage because he allows things to run smoothly, with Kawaki who actually has the power to keep the village safe, as Kawaki is seen giving Shikamaru orders regarding the Cold situation. His worries were merited, as it was not only one ninja who had Cold's claw marks on his neck, as we see other ninjas with Cold's claw mark, which leads to one of Cold's claw grimes to pop out of that ninja's neck and start attacking the village. A lot of these claw grimes start popping into the village and attacking the villagers around them. This alerts the Konoha security system, who has noticed multiple different chakra signals throughout the village. Shikamaru is also alerted and questions why Cold decided to attack now all of a sudden. Kawaki is shown protecting the villagers from one of Cold's claw grimes. This is a clear distinction from what happened before, as when Kawaki first arrived in the village, he was the one who was attacking the villagers, but now he is the one protecting them. Sarada does the same, as she kicks one of the claw grimes, but 2 others spawn as they teleport from each other from the belts across their face. Same with Cold, who appears with his Dracula fit, saying hi to Sarada, which he knows by name, which means that in the time skip he would have heard about Sarada through his claw marks he has put on people's neck, or he may have seen her outside the village. Cold asks her about Boruto's whereabouts, which Sarada tells them that she has no idea where he is, as she hasn't seen him and Sasuke for 3 years. Cold acknowledges this, as he says that he has been chasing them for 2 years now, indicating that he is still affected by the Omnipotence, and may have made contact with them a year after he left the village, or that he has finally started to look for Boruto 2 years ago. However, Cold has a scar, which means that he has gone into a tough battle in the past. In the next panel, we see Cold tell Sarada to scream so that he can draw Boruto here. This panel is amazing, and it goes along with the theory I had, which states that Kawaki would do something to the village to draw Boruto out. Kawaki is not the one who ends up doing this, but Cold is the one who does it, as he comes to the village to cause chaos to draw Boruto out of his hiding. But suddenly, in the blink of an eye, Boruto appears before Sarada has the chance to even scream, stepping on Cold's face, and if you pay close attention, you would see that he steps on Cold's eye, which has the scar, which may be a hint that Boruto is the one who gave him the scar, and Boruto drops one of the coldest bars ever, as he says, "Those discussing ideas or why women want to get away from you." This points back to Cold and Ida's situation, as in Cold's eyes, Boruto is the one who stole Ida from him. What an amazing line from Boruto. And if you pay close attention to what is said here, you would realize that just like Kawaki, Boruto has also learned how to fly, as it is stated that he is in the sky above Cold. Boruto comes to save Sarada, and Kawaki notices this, saying that he has finally appeared, but Boruto stands and says nothing. The Karma Trio is back. Cold stays taking L's. Kawaki remains steadfast on his goal, but Boruto is different. Boruto has lost his smile. A 10 out of 10 chapter with so many questions left to be answered, like what happened to Boruto, and the answer to this question is in this video right here.